Innovation Together with David Doggette of 2HB and Chris Koomey of Thorben Consulting. And David, you've been innovating in how you built your company, and here you are 25 years in. What are your plans for the next 10, 20, 30 years for innovating in your company?
Well, let's just be clear, 30 years, there is no plan.
That's the iceberg plan. You're going to go float off.
Yeah, I have plans for retirement, and they don't include running a business. But anyway, for the next 5, 10 years, I think the innovation now has to be in recruiting. In our market where we support the intelligence community, you need a clearance to play. And there's well over 500 to 1,000 small businesses that all have their recruiting fishing rod in the same pond.
Yeah.
And the pond is shrinking and the number of fishing rods is growing. So we have to innovate in recruiting. And one thing that we found that is starting to work for us is using young people, interns, and teaching them the recruiting process so that they can help with the areas that are just time consuming. They're easy to do, but they have to be done in a timely fashion. And we're starting to see success with that, as well as, do what other people do and throw out those high signing bonuses or referral bonuses, and people tend to come. But the real innovation is the word of mouth from your current employees. They tell people, hey, look, I got offers for more money in other places, but I won't leave. And the reason I won't leave is because I feel like I'm at home here. I feel like I'm family here. And, when you have an argument with your sibling, you don't walk out the door and claim they're no longer family. So we're trying to build that same kind of innovations and have that in our recruiting process.
It's funny. We were working on a proposal, and the expectation of the government was their question was, well, how many top secret cleared resources do you have on your bench that are available? And I said, none, because they're all working.
And if they were on your bench, they would have multiple offers from other companies.
Right, because it's such an active market. There's definitely more demand than supply. And I want to kind of take a step back on, you talked about breaking down your recruiting process and having enthusiastic young people as part of that. And, we both were part of a group, and they always talked about finding the perfect salesperson. And remember, the joke was a giant bunny's not coming through the door, the Easter bunny's not coming through the door, and the perfect salesperson isn't coming through the door. And I think part of people's expectations of how do we hire people is they're trying to find someone that can do 100% as opposed to doing part of the role. And that's also part of where culture comes in.
Absolutely. And we've been in business long enough that we've tried multiple solutions, and many of them have failed at some point, or, at a piece of that point. We've hired recruiters that were capable of doing the whole thing, that didn't want to do the whole process. So they focused on the things that they liked. We've hired, we've had several recruiters, and at the end of the day, I don't need to pay someone $70 an hour to write a resume template to submit to the government for consideration, when there's someone out there that'll do it for $15 to $20 an hour, or $25 an hour, and do a much better job and get it done faster.
Well,
because they're building.
But it's also, that's part of that is culture too, is, when you hire someone who's a go-getter, your culture almost doesn't matter. They're going to be a go-getter, but most people aren't, and they're going to respond to your culture. If you have a high achieving, high performance, we can do it culture, people will gravitate to that. If you have a low performance, kind of mumbling, grumbling culture, that's what you're going to get from most people.
Yeah.
I think that's where culture really comes in, is it's not just being a place where, as far as something that you put up on your wall, it's how people are going to operate every single day.
Yeah. And the other piece of it is transparency. I have a candidate right now that came to us, um, basically found one of our jobs on the internet. So those candidates have the least
Commitment.
loyalty
Yeah.
to you as a potential employer. He told me that he was working with other companies, and I shared with him, I said, well, these are the contracts we want to submit you to. These are the positions. We will get your permission before we submit you to any. This is the realm of what I can pay for each of these, et cetera, et cetera. And he came back to me a couple of days later and he says, I didn't realize it, but another company I was working with submitted me to the same contract that you want to submit me to. And I said, that's fine. If you want to share the company name, I can give you my opinion as to whether they're a good company or not, et cetera, et cetera. He hesitated because, everybody likes to keep all that stuff close to the vest. But since I was being transparent, he was transparent. He told me the company and I was like, yeah, they're decent. That's not a bad thing to do, whatever. And, just let me know. We'll pull back those and we'll submit you on these others. About a week later, he comes back to me and he says, I got a conditional offer for $20,000 more than what I asked for from you. What can you do? Or, how should I proceed? And I said, well, look, there's a couple of positions we submitted you to. I can match that or even beat it. I said, the other ones, nope, they're going to be 20K less, just like I told you the first time, because I was being transparent. Make a long story short, he decided to stop working with all other companies and gave us exclusive rights to him. He went on an interview for us yesterday, was selected. He'll be coming on board as a new employee. So those types of things, I just feel like they work out with the right candidates. If a candidate also has that strong desire to be in a family oriented, work hard, play hard, the culture that we discussed, then they're going to gravitate to our company.
Yeah, it's the genuine human connection, right? And there's so many people that aren't being transparent and aren't being genuine as they're trying to be attractive to folks. And just by doing stuff that we did growing up, that's part of your innovation. So
treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah, and that's part about being intentional about your culture. So, David Doggette, thanks for mastering innovation together with us today. Thank you for mastering innovation together today with Thorben Consulting. This is Chris Koomey. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy the show, if you have any comments, questions, or just want to learn more about what we do. Thanks for joining us.